I've just realised I muted everything, so you probably haven't heard nothing. Deary me. Deary me. There we go, we're done. We're here. It's all good, we're back on. You should be hearing me now. Let's just make sure you can. I just need to make sure you can hear me. Hearing me now? I'm sure you can hear me now. Let's just make sure you can. Let's just see what's happening. Can you hear me? Hearing me now? All good? I'm sure you can hear me now. Let's just make sure you can. Let's just see what's happening. Can you hear me? Hearing me now? All good? I'm sure you can hear me. Let's just see what's happening. Can you hear me? Hearing me now? All good? I'm sure you can hear me. Me headphones. Let's just see what's happening. Can you hear me? Hearing me now? All good? Echoing, is it? Me headphones. Let's just see what's happening. Can you hear me? Hearing me now? All good? Echoing, is it? Echoing. Hold on, let me try and sort it out. Can you hear me? Hearing me now? All good? Echoing, is it? Echoing. Hold on, let me try and sort it out. Can you hear me? Hearing me now? All good? Echoing, is it? Echoing. Hold on, let me try and sort it out. Can you hear me? Hearing me now? All good? Echoing, is it? Echoing. Hold on, let me try and sort it out. Can you hear me? Hearing me now? All good? Echoing, is it? Echoing. Hold on, let me try and sort it out. How about now? So if I talk now, how does it sound now? Is it echoing now? So if I talk now, how does it sound now? Is it echoing now? So if I talk now, how does it sound now? Is it echoing now? Well, the music's not great, is it? If I talk now, how does it sound now? Is it echoing now? Well, the music's not great, is it? If I talk now, how does it sound now? Is it echoing now? Well, the music's not great, is it? Now, how does it sound now? Is it echoing now? Well, the music's not great, is it? Now, jeez, how does it sound now? Is it echoing now? Well, the music. There you go. Can you hear me now, all right? Hopefully you can hear me, and it doesn't sound too bad. I can't hear myself, which is really, really weird. Hold on. Now we're all good. Okay. So we're all good. That's the main thing. Hold on. So, hopefully we're not too bad and you can hear me now. How are you all? Hopefully you're all good. So, you can actually hear me. I can't hear anything. I have to say, I can't hear a word, which is really weird on my setup. 1 second, bear with me, people. I will get this sorted out one way or the other. Deary me. Honestly, trying to work things out is a nightmare. Hold on a second. Let's just go in this way. We'll just do it this way. It's much more simple. It's much, hopefully, much better. Good, you can hear me loud and clear. That's the main thing. I just can't hear myself. Anyway, how are you all doing? Hopefully you're all good. And hopefully it's not too bad. I still can't hear nothing. This is ridiculous. Really weird. Anyway. I'm good, mate. I'm really, really good. Thank you. I'm really good. It's, yeah, it's strange. It's been a strange sort of end of season, really, isn't it? It's, everybody else has got something to play for. Obviously, we had to make sure we got top four. Got third, which was good. But, yeah, so I wanted to do this stream just to have a bit of a chinwag, and the old Chels Daft Pub's open. Hopefully you're all good. Cheers, everyone. But yeah, I just want to do a stream, see how you guys are. Talk about the news, that the fact that the government has approved the deal, Todd Boehly's consortium to take over, and also the Premier League as well. So it's going to get done and dusted. Hopefully it's all done now, today. If not, it should be done in the next couple of days. Thomas Tuchel's come out and said that he's not going to be doing he won't be having a break because he needs to work hard, because he's trying to get this done, this deal over the line, so they can start signing players. He's already identified the players that he wants, which is good. I'll be talking about that in just a second. So, Alonso, yeah, Liverpool lost the Premier League. Exactly. And come on, Real Madrid. Let's hope Real Madrid tonk them in the final. I can't see it. I've got a horrible feeling. But I'm hoping that Real Madrid pull something out of the bag. Hopefully. That's what we're all hoping. Because anything other than that would be a nightmare. An absolute nightmare. But, yeah, I mean, it's, I need to sort this out. Hold on a second. So if I do the wave link, stream there, apply that. Is it echoing again if I'm talking now? Because I've got my little filters on there. Is this echoing now? Am I good? If I'm good, I'll leave it alone. I'll carry on. But welcome along, everyone. Clicks, Blues. How are you? John T. Terry, how you doing, mate? Alonso, of course. Scottish Joe. Woodshedder. Good to see you in. So, yeah, so let's have a look at some of these comments. Yeah, New Ireland looking splash to cash. What I've given this season as a rating. What would you guys give Chelsea's season as a rating? I'm thinking sort of, we've improved on last year, finishing third. We still finished 19 points behind the leaders, or the winners. We've closed the gap slightly. There's been some excellent performances. There's been some dire performances. And bearing in mind we've lost Ben Chilwell for most of the season, we lost Reece James for 3 or 4 months. I'd probably say 6 to 6.5 to 7 maybe. We won with champions of the world, obviously. But, I mean, when we say about being champions of the world, you only got to play 2 games. And the first game's pretty much not great, is it? And we won the Super Cup, which is great. So we got 2 trophies. And we won the pre-season trophy over in Ireland. Don't forget. 3 trophies. Got to 2 cup finals and blew it both times on penalties. Champions League, lost the Champions League based on the home game against Real Madrid, which was our own doing. And the Premier League, nowhere near. So I'd say 6.5 to 7, or if you want to go old money, C plus maybe. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section. Yeah, great to see Tammy Abraham lift the trophy there. Didn't score on the night. Played well. What a week in football. Exactly. Woodshedder. Exactly. Noza, how are you? We're going to need about 6 quality players transferred from Chelsea in the coming season. Woodshedder, big disappointment, but considering all of our hardships, it's a better season than we deserve. Blues thinks it's a 7 out of 10 this season, which is fair play. Smash the like button, people. Let me know what you think and how you'd rate Chelsea's season. Like I say, there's plenty of ups, a lot of downs. There's the disappointments as well, the games where we threw things away. Another overriding thought from this season for me, which didn't change from last season, is the amount of opportunities last season we had to take advantage over our rivals when they drop points, to gain advantage on them and extend our lead over them, and we blew it time and time again. And that didn't change from last year. So, for me, like I say, that's a big disappointment for me. The squad we've got, the players we got in that squad. But, you know, we finished third Champions League. Under all the situation regarding the ownership, the sanctions, regarding players wanting to leave, downing tools, players that, you know, we'll talk about Rudiger in just a bit, but But yeah, so there's some items I want to discuss in this on the stream. Obviously, the Todd Boehly consortium being confirmed, a couple of transfer rumours that are doing the rounds, and also the situation regarding Charlie Masonda, who's released an emotional post on his Instagram account to Chelsea fans, just about what his dream was, and the fact that he managed to play for the Blues, and he's worked hard to get back to try and being fit again, obviously, but now he needs to take stock of everything and go again. And just thanking the Chelsea fans, Charlie Masonda. There's a report on Hakim Ziyech as well, which I'm going to go through with you guys. And also a Mr. Mason Mount, who's the player of the season for me. It's got to be. Seen a comment here saying, John T. Terry says, I'm optimistic of what's coming. Fair play. Alan says we don't need Neymar, and John agrees with him, and I'm of the same. We don't need Neymar at all. But I mean, we have to speak about it now because we're talking about Neymar. But that new deal, that contract for Kylian Mbappe is just an absolute joke. 100 million sign-on fee to sign a new contract to stay there for a few seasons. £1 million a week, Mbappe. And you've got people that are homeless. You've got people that are in poverty. It's just a joke. It's an absolute joke as to how, I mean, bring in the salary cap in football for me and get people to earn their money. That's what I'd say. It's just got scandalous. He's out of control with his money. And I mean, La Liga making their complaint. Fair play to them. I watched a good video of Simon Jordan, the ex-Crystal Palace chairman, on TalkSport, who pretty much said it exactly how it is. It's dangerous for football. Repercussions for football could be catastrophic. All because of greed and just power, player power. And think about Mbappe as well. That he's also got rights to his own merchandising and all that sort of stuff as well. And that's just stupid money. That is absolutely stupid money. So when it talks about Neymar, show pony, isn't he? The only reason that he went to PSG was because he needed to step away from Barcelona because he wanted to be, his dream, Neymar's, is to be Ballon d'Or winner. He was never going to win that Ballon d'Or when Messi was there and Suarez. And he realised that and he jumped ship. He went to PSG. So he must have been absolutely sick when Messi signed for PSG. So, I mean, I saw somewhere apparently that Mbappe's talking about Neymar's got to go or something like that. So this is why we're being linked with him. And it's his friendship with Thomas Tuchel and the fact that he said before about Tuchel Neymar that he'd go to war for him and all that sort of stuff. So they're putting 2 and 2 together, getting 124 and linking him with Chelsea. Can't see it happening. Cannot see it happening. Yes, the club president's wife would cheddar. So let's just see if I've managed to work this all out. So if I go to my desktop, oh, here we go, look, see you guys on here. So my desktop is on here at the moment. It's not great, look, it's gone blank. I'm looking at over here. So let me bring my camera on here. Hold on, my camera's disappeared off my stream. This is just great, absolutely great, isn't it? So I want to start over here. This one. So Todd Boehly, obviously Todd Boehly. I need to add my video. Hold on, got to add my video in. This is great quality, isn't it? It's unbelievable. No, that camera's not working for some reason on there. You have to say the quality of my streams is just outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. No, not that one either. 1 second. I'm going to get here in the end. I'm going to talk about it properly. Sony camera. Hey, that's me. Anyway, I'm over here, look. So let's just sort this out. Let's just shove me up here out of the way. So here we go. So we're talking about, obviously, the deal being done. So Todd Boehly is confirmed. The Abramovich era comes to an end as Todd Boehly, the consortium given the Premier League and government approval to complete the takeover, written by Matt Law in the Telegraph. And Thomas Tuchel will receive 200 million in backing, transfer backing. Let me just try and sort something out here regarding the chat. I know you guys can't really see the chat at the minute. Let me see if I can get it. I can sort it out. Hold on 1 second. It's not great. It's not great, is it? It's not great at all. I'm very. I'm not with the. As they say, I'm not exactly with the. Let's put it here. There you go. So at least you can see the chat anyway. You can see my chat. You can see it come up on the screen anyway. So £200 million transfer back in, and there's also a report stating that whatever transfer money we receive this summer from player sales will also go in addition to that 200 million. And as you can imagine, the whole transfer rumour mill has just gone into overdrive, it's gone on steroids, and it's just gone through the roof. The problem what we've also got is because we're now the world's most expensive football club at 4.25 billion. People know we've got money. People know Todd Boehly's got money, and every single player we go in for is now going to be their transfer value is going to go through the roof. But it's a moment in time, people. The Roman Abramovich era is officially over. Abramovich has obviously agreed, or part of this deal. The government are happy he's not going to receive any money from it. Just hope that when this all is over, the sanctions are over, the Russia just sort themselves out and go back and leave Ukraine alone, which is not going to happen. But just hope there comes a point where Roman Abramovich can actually come to Stamford Bridge and can be there with the fans, and the fans can give him the proper send off that he deserves. Because Abramovich, for me, I've got to say, a lot of people are talking about all this sort of nonsense about, his Putin links and all that. I'm not even thinking about Abramovich and any links that he's got with that. I'm thinking football terms. As a Chelsea fan, someone who's been a fan all my life, from the age of 6 in 1980, when I used to go stand on the shed end. In 1980, at the age of 6, going through the second division, the old second division, the first division, where the highlight for us was playing big teams such as Liverpool, your Man United and your Arsenals maybe, obviously your Tottenhams. That was the highlight. And to try and finish top half, and then to try and maybe push for top 6, that was what it was like for a Chelsea fan through the 80s that I knew, to try and just that's what the highlight was for us. That was what our goals were for the season. Yes, it changed over time when Rudd Gullit come in and Glenn Hoddle and all that sort of stuff, and Vialli, and we started pushing forward, and we got ourselves to finals, we won trophies. But when Abramovich come in and did what he did for football, did what he did for Chelsea, he gave people like me the opportunity that I never thought I'd have, and that was to see Chelsea become one of the biggest clubs in the world, to win the title, to challenge for European trophies, and just look what we've achieved under Roman Abramovich. 2 Champions Leagues, 2 Europa Leagues. Okay, it might be sanctioned, but Super Cup, Club World Cup winners, FA Cups, League Cups, Premier League trophies, and we're up there as one of the biggest clubs in the world, which is why somebody like Todd Boehly and his consortium, as soon as Chelsea become available, like, aren't having some of that. We've never been on that map. We've never been on the radar. If Roman Abramovich hadn't come in. And let's not forget, it was because he shook hands with Tottenham and he was flying back to the airport in a helicopter, and he flew over Stamford Bridge and said, "Who's that?" And they explained what Chelsea was, and then that's what he set up a meeting with Ken Bates, and the rest is history. But Roman Abramovich gave me, in my lifetime, everything I could ever dream of as a Chelsea fan, and I'll always be thankful for that. Always, always. So it's a new era, and the most important thing is, stipulation is, for 10 years they can't sell Chelsea. They must invest. They must prove they're going to invest in the football club itself, in the team, in the academy and in the women's team. And if anything, take the club from where it is now, hopefully another step further. And that step, most importantly of all, is to close the gap and challenge next season. Now, I don't actually think we're too far off next season. I really don't. I don't think we're too far off of having a squad that can challenge for the Premier League. I really don't. I just think at the end of the day, we've just been unlucky with the injuries with Reece James and Ben Chilwell. Something's happened along the way when it comes to, our defence was shipshape, was watertight, and all of a sudden it's just gone to pot. N'Golo Kante and his injuries, Lukaku struggles, Werner, we lost both of them at one point. So if we had everybody fully fit or fit for the majority of the season, say 90% of the season, the gap would have been smaller. Lukaku would have been playing and scoring, hopefully. So I don't think we're that far off. Now, obviously, we're going to miss players. We're going to be missing the likes of Tony Rudiger, who's going to be leaving, Andreas Christensen as well. But it's like I'm saying, at the end of the day, it's a new era and it's an exciting time. It is a real exciting time. So, as you can imagine, the rumour mill is going through the roof. All sorts of players being linked with Chelsea. So, two of them straight off the bat, as reported in the Telegraph here, is Jules Koundé and Josko Gvardiol from RB Leipzig. 8-player shortlist. Now, we know Rudiger's going to Real Madrid. More on that in just a second. Andreas Christensen's going as well. He's going to go to Barcelona as well. Or going to Barcelona free transfer. Cesar Azpilicueta's future is uncertain. All indications are that he probably will stay. Triggered his new deal, 30-plus appearances this season. Automatically triggers a 1-year extension. And that will come through. And there was a report saying that he was trying to get out of it to go back to Spain and La Liga. Whether or not Chelsea said to him, look, bearing in mind we're losing Rudiger and Christensen, possibly Alonso as well. We can't afford to lose you as well. Give us an extra year, then you can go. As what we've done with the likes of Eden Hazard and people like that. So we're definitely going to lose Rudiger and Christensen. The exciting thing is, I think Trevor Chalobah has been outstanding. Yes, he's made some mistakes. For the most part, for his first season front in the deep end, where he impressed Tuchel in that pre-season tournament in Ireland, and then played obviously the Super Cup final. I think he'll be one of the mainstays next season, Trevor Chalobah. You've also got the likes of Reece James can come inside, play as a centre-half, play as a centre midfielder. But there's an 8-defender shortlist. And the 8-defender shortlist on here is RB Leipzig's Gvardiol, left-footed central defender. 20-year-old is rated as one of the top defensive talents within Europe and can fill in at left-back as well. Other potential targets, Pau Torres, Villarreal. Now, I'm surprised no one's picked him up at the end of the day because this guy has been outstanding for a good few seasons. Atletico Madrid, Jose Jimenez, who's always been linked with Chelsea every single window. Other defenders we're probably looking at, doesn't actually mention them on here, but there's an 8-defender shortlist and I can't tell you who the 8 are. Anyway, so let's see what happens. But I think Jules Koundé wants to come to Chelsea. That's pretty much been on the cards for God knows how long. And I'm sure it's going to happen. I have to look at what the transfer fee could potentially be. But we shall see. But I'll go for Pau Torres. Definitely. 100% if it was me. I think the guy's outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Let's have a look at some of the chat while I'm here, while I'm waffling on. Let's have a look on here. John says, I think I'm being overly critical about our ratings this season. We did really well. 2 major injuries, we were in shambles. Don't think we have the squad depth. We don't have the squad depth that we think we have. Oh, okay, fair enough. Gabriel says, no way about Neymar. So to pick up a war chest. We're just going to get ripped off for players. Exactly. Kim So, how you doing? Says, we just get Dembele. Trocon, how are you? New Era says it's begun, I should say. Kim So, Ampadu as a centre defensive midfielder or central defensive midfielder next season. Maybe. Terry says, Boehly may make a first big window splash, but the Dodgers, they've been successful in getting correct players in the correct positions, not always the big name players. Interesting. Tom, thank you very much for the comment, for the compliment. Gabriel says, I hope we as a club, as well as Todd, learn. We both have experience now. Let's be run as prudent, intelligent, well-run club. Top to bottom, better scouting, better long-term vision. Blues says, Roman mugged off Spurs, just like Willian did. Exactly. Echo himself, how are you? Should we go for a new striker or give Broja a chance? More on Broja in just a second, but I'd give him a chance if it was me. But there's a report he's being linked with a potential involvement in a deal for Declan Rice because West Ham want him. They want to sign Bright on a permanent deal. Gabriel also says he thinks that we're still well behind. Last year we needed a goal scorer. Now we've lost half our defence and still without a reliable attack and aging midfielder. We're 2 years catch up unless we got clever signings. Bright a chance or lose him, says Terry. Alonso, how are you? CD, did you rate the league and FA Cup above the Super Cup and Club World Cup? I think the FA Cup is rated for me higher than the Super Cup. Club World Cup is higher than the both of them. To me, I'd rate that, Alonso, as League Cup, Super Cup, FA Cup, Club World Cup for me. Colossus, don't need Neymar as a drama queen. Exactly, he is for me. I think he is. And I obviously we're being linked with Rafinha over at Leeds as well, but he's being linked with other people as well. But they're talking about 70 million for him, which is ridiculous money. Anyway, people, I want to talk about this story that appeared as well. This one. Chelsea willing to listen to offers for out-of-favour winger Hakim Ziyech. As reported in the Metro, Hakim Ziyech out of favour. Now, again, there's plenty of speculation. Bearing in mind we've got new owners. Bearing in mind we're the most expensive club in the world. And bearing in mind we've got a lot of money now. So all sorts of stuff is going to be coming out. Now, it has come from Fabrizio Romano on Twitter, and he has said this. He has said, and he's got status, and now I'm selling in case they receive an important proposal. And Marcos Alonso will also leave, with Barca still leading the race. Talks similar to N'Golo Kante to discuss his contract situation, and Jorginho's waiting too. So Hakim Ziyech, what do you think about that? Do you think that Ziyech is someone we should be letting go? Has he flattered to deceive? Has he not had a fair trot? Is it the formation that doesn't suit him? So yeah, so Hakim Ziyech, people. What are we talking about that with Ziyech? Now, for me, Hakim Ziyech is someone that's ideally suited to 4-3-3 formation for me. Ziyech. I still think Chelsea's formation is 4-3-3. I've been saying it for a while. 4 at the back, 3-man midfield with someone sitting and 2 box-to-box. Wide left, wide right, striker. The 2 number 10s works for Chelsea. It has worked for Chelsea, but the problem is a lot of people are sort of becoming wise to it again. And when they become wise to it, what they do is they're looking for Mount to get in that little channel where he had so much success early in Thomas Tuchel's when he first took over. Being in that little slot position, so much joy in it. But people are wising up to it now. So for me, it's got to be 4-3-3. And if you play 4-3-3, you play Hakim Ziyech on the right to come back inside on his left foot. That wand of his left foot. So, Hakim Ziyech, what are we saying? Do we think that he's... I mean, as we said here, look, Fabrizio Romano has confirmed it and said that are now open to sell Ziyech in case they receive an important proposal. So would you sell him? Would you sell Ziyech, or do you think give him another season? Clinton, how are you? He says he likes Ziyech, but he doesn't think he's done much wrong. Terry talking about Thomas Tuchel's questions. If too much rotation up front affected scoring and confidence. Maybe it did. But, I mean, Christian Pulisic complained about that. And Pulisic apparently has taken Chelsea off of his bio. Now, I need to have a look at this. I saw it. Somebody said this about Pulisic. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Christian. Let's go Pulisic. Instagram. Is this him? Oh, for God's sake. I got to sign in with my bleeding credentials here. I'm not sure I can remember what my credentials are. No, wrong. Never mind. Christian Pulisic, here we go. Oh, God. I've got to change my password, apparently. Go away. Let me find it on my phone. So, Christian Pulisic. Has he taken Chelsea off his bio. Let's have a look. So, who am I following? Let me find out. So, I'm following 61 people. Most of them are Chelsea players. A couple of others. Let me find him. Christian Pulisic. Hold on. Anybody answer that question while I'm sitting here trying to get online bio? Much ado about nothing. I know, but, you know, people jumped all over it. I saw it. Hold on. Let me search for him. I can't spell. Christian Pulisic. There we go. Yeah, he's just put himself... Christian, he calls himself. Hershey PA. Twitter. Details. Doesn't say anything about him being Chelsea player. Interesting. Now, he's moaned about Tuchel's rotation as well, he said, and turned about the fact that being going in and out of the team, they can't build up any momentum. They can't build up, like, you know, a rapport with their teammates and get back to being where they feel confident and comfortable. And I have to say, Pulisic, the last couple of weeks, struggled, didn't he? Really did struggle. Let's look at this chat again. Terry, players like Ziyech need minutes to be effective. Yeah, same could be said of Pulisic, but I do agree with your point. Gabriel, agree if Rom stays, then most likely will Ziyech. Rom seems to do well. It's like a poor man's Fabregas. Costa, some players have a connection. They do, yeah, exactly. Dave, I don't think the way we play currently doesn't allow the freedom for the players need to score when pressed. Exactly. I actually agree with you, Dave, 100%. Welcome along. Alonso, if we can't buy players, go to the academy. Find the next Tammy, Gurhi, Tomori, etc. Get hungry players instead of another disappointing buy. So, yeah, Hakim Ziyech, for me, as I keep saying, I think that he struggles. He struggles in the formation, playing as a number 10 and playing inside. And the thing for me about Hakim Ziyech is when you play as a number 10, most of the time, you're playing in advance of where the ball is and you're facing the game. Like, you're facing where the ball's coming to you, where you're back to goal. And that's where he struggles, Hakim Ziyech, for me, because Ziyech likes to play on the side. So if he's out wide right, for example, Hakim Ziyech, this is my own personal opinion. If he's wide right, Hakim Ziyech, then what happens is when he's looking for the ball to be played into him, he'll turn side on. So he can see the defender coming towards him this way. He can see where the ball's coming from, and he's got a picture on his mind when he receives the ball of what he's going to do. He can see it. He can see all angles, and he can read the game brilliantly well. And that's where he's at his best, because he knows what to expect and what to do. When he turns all the way around and faces the game with his back to the goal, and he's got somebody up his arse, he's useless because he's getting hit. And he's receiving the ball in a position that he doesn't want to. And that's why I think that Hakim Ziyech has struggled this season for me. I think, I just think he struggled last year for a bit. He struggled this season. He looks like a player who's got the arse most of the time. His body language is not great. But there are moments when he's just lights the game up. Gabriel says, are we unlucky or what's the issue? Morata, Werner, Pulisic, Cho, Lukaku, Ziyech, Havertz, less so, all inconsistent? Or is it flip-flop managers? We need a vision and stability. I think, Gabriel, in response to that comment, so Morata, I think Morata and Lukaku fall into, and Kai Havertz to a point, they fall into the reputation of the Chelsea stereotypical centre-forward. Chelsea's stereotypical centre-forward is Didier Drogba, it's Diego Costa, it's Olivier Giroud. All of them bullied defenders. I've said this on my streams numerous times, so all the regulars, I apologise, I'll keep doing it. Smash the like button for me, people. 135 of you on here. Welcome along. If you've never got involved with a chat before, come and say hello. Join the Chels Daft Pub. Grab yourself a drink. In the pub, we just talk Chelsea, as you would do with your mates. It could be anything. It could be Chelsea now, Chelsea back in the day, retro. It could be anything. Let me know in the chat. We're going to talk about some of these stories today anyway. We might keep this going for 2 hours tonight. We have to wait and see. Hour and a half minimum anyway. So, the stereotypical Chelsea centre forward is your Drogba, your Costa and your Giroud because they bullied defenders, they could hold the ball up, they bring others into play, and they could create something from nothing. But first and foremost, they occupy the defender up against. And the defender up against knew they were in for a hard time. They knew they were going to get jostled and bullied. And they dominated the defenders who marked them. All of them did. Romelu Lukaku doesn't do that. That's not his game. I've said it numerous times. He wants to be more of a Timo Werner-esque type of a forward. Someone who drops off, turns and runs at people, or runs in behind, or runs down the channels. He doesn't want to be someone that can hold the ball up. He looks uncomfortable. He doesn't want to be someone that can head the ball. When he goes up against defenders, physical defenders, he doesn't win the battle. Simple as that. Alvaro Morata, same problem. Can't lead the line like that. Want to be more like Timo Werner. Timo Werner's Timo Werner. I think Werner is outstanding. I think his movement is outstanding. I think Chelsea needs to get the best out of him and needs to decide what they're going to do with him. But I don't want to see Werner sold. I think Werner has got a lot of value for Chelsea. But then Kai Havertz has been pigeonholed into playing as a centre forward when he isn't. He's a number 10. And he can't really hold the ball up. He does as much as he can, but the guy's not exactly got the physique to dominate defenders, is he? He gives them a hard time. He turns into a bit of a pain in the arse with them, as we've seen in recent weeks. So, that's the problem with Morata, Lukaku, and with Timo Werner. As far as Pulisic, hudson-odoi, and Hakim Ziyech, I think it's the formation again. It's playing the two number 10s. In behind the striker. If they were actually wide players, now think of the players that we've got that are not number 10s, then you're looking at actual natural wide players, hudson-odoi, Pulisic and Ziyech. We've got 3. Then we've got 1 missing, which we can't, Timo Werner to a point. But those players are naturally wide players that like to pick the ball up wide in wide areas and come inside. Run at people, come inside, create problems. Or use that wand of their foot, as in Ziyech, from wide areas to open the door. As number 10s, it doesn't suit them. Maybe Pulisic to a point it does, but hudson-odoi can't play as a number 10. Ziyech can't play as a number 10. And the formation doesn't suit them. Simple as that. So for me, I honestly believe that Chelsea need to revert back to 4-3-3. Look at the most successful teams in recent seasons. Liverpool, 4-3-3 under Klopp. Man City, 4-3-3 under Guardiola. Ancelotti's turned up at Real Madrid, 4-3-3. Works for him. These teams that play 4-3-3, it's a balanced formation throughout the length and breadth of the football pitch. Players know their roles. Yes, you might have a requirement for the wide players to track back and work hard, whereas they probably get away with it because you've got the wing-backs at the moment. But I just think we're more balanced. And I think, look at the players, look at how outstanding we are in the middle of midfield. I think if we say to N'Golo Kante, because of all your injuries, play as a defensive-minded midfielder, play the Makaleli role, and just play in that area from side to side within a 20-foot, or 20-metre radius in that area. Just don't worry about going box to box, going crazy all over the pitch. Just conserve your energy, try not to be injured, and let 2 players outside of you go box to box. I think we'll get the best out of Kante, and I think we'll get a full season out of him, maybe. But you then got the likes of Loftus-Cheek can play box to box. Mason Mount can play box to box. Kai Havertz box to box. And also Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Kovacic, another one. Jorginho's gone for me. I think he'll go. And I think the backup to Kante possibly would be Efan Ampadu. Or you could play Reece James there. So for me, that's the formation, the 4-3-3. You stick Ziyech on the right, Pulisic on the left to begin with. You've got hudson-odoi to battle with him out there or over on the right-hand side. You've got Werner to play there. But starting, you'll go Pulisic and Ziyech because both of them, you give them a run of games, they're going to get form, they're going to create problems, they're going to score goals and create goals. And I think you're going to get more out of them than what we do at the moment with the number 10s. So, my own personal opinion anyway. But thanks for the question, Gabrielle. Tell you, Werner struggled as well. A lot of these guys are afraid to make a mistake. They do, they're out for weeks. Blues, we need to have a style of play we want to use and buy players whose attributes match the style, not just buy the players who are famous. Exactly. That's Pretty good shout. So not the names, people that actually fit the formation. Good shout. Chev, how are you? Sometimes too much of Ziyech pass doesn't find its man. Yeah, because he's trying to find his way, isn't he? He's trying to get his eye in, but not playing regular football and, and not building the relationship with the players on the pitch where you know where they're going to move. It's like doing it in training, but on a match day it's totally different. There's been times when him and Lukaku look for each other and they got their wires crossed and it only comes with playing constant together. Gabriel, my point is that we're disjointed. Hopefully we support Tuchel, mould the team around a playing style. Yeah, exactly. That's what I think as well. 4-3-3 maybe. Alonso, another question from Alonso. Good to see you, mate. Do you think we'll be ready to challenge the Premier League title next season? Would you sack Thomas Tuchel if we didn't? I think next season, close the gap, focus on the cups. We'll need to build like when Roman first arrived. I think that's ideally. I think we should be challenging. I think if we put up a realistic challenge and we get a lot closer, I think that's acceptable to the owners. It depends on how much they do actually invest in Chelsea this summer, how much they spend and the players they bring in. Because we've already got a good squad. Okay, Rudiger, as we said, Rudiger and Christensen, Jorginho's going to go as well. But we've already got, when they go, we've still got a good squad. Let's get the right defenders in and let's see what happens. But yeah. Clinton, I think Ziyech and Pulisic thought Frank was going to play them week in, week out when they come. Yeah, he did. I think they did as well. Pulisic played better than Lampard. He did. Alonso, Pulisic and Ziyech injury prone. Maybe. Yeah. Ziyech had always had a knack, didn't he, getting injured in pre-season. Pulisic not had a muscle injury in over a season. His was the last Honduran squad. Yeah, exactly. So let's get back to these reports. Let me find out my really, really technical and outstanding coverage. So here we go. Charlie Masonda. Charlie Masonda, who's been at Chelsea for 10 years, has announced today that he's leaving. And he's written a farewell letter. And go and find it on Instagram if you're on there. It's a heartfelt message. And the guy is just outstanding. A decade gone, a rollercoaster of emotions, 4 years without football, free agent, what's next? Football always, and create an inspirational world. And his message is outstanding. It really, really is. He talks about the fact that when he turned up at Cobham, Chelsea Football Club, the way everyone welcomed him, it turned into his home. It was his dream. He plays tribute to people at the football club, his teammates, the fans. It's such a good little message from Charlie Masonda. And make sure you check it out. Let's have a look on here. Let's have a look here. Yeah, he's basically he's talking about the fact his journey and different perspective on life and things like that. And he's turned around and said, I'm thankful for the journey. I would like to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart at Chelsea Football Club. And I wish all the best to the players and its fans. But he mentioned the situation with the Chelsea fans. Let me let's just find a little section that he put on here. Here we go. During those years of hard work, sacrifice and dedication, I fell in love with the club and the fans. People always say Chelsea fans don't make noise in the stadium, but I can assure you the fans are amongst the best in the world and they've been unbelievable with me always, which is rare for a player who hasn't even started more than once. Honestly, you always loved me up until this day, and that helped me through my injury to keep on training. I'll never forget you, Chelsea fans, and will always love you from the bottom of my heart. I wish I could have done more for you, but that's the nature of life. And that's Charlie Masonda. Now, I have to say about Masonda, I mean, I could be wrong here, but I mean, you look at players, it's going to be total just nonsense that I'm spouting here. I have to say this because I'm looking at Gianfranco Zola, for example. But does his height go against him? Does his physical frame go against Charlie Masonda? Was he going to be somebody that was never going to be Premier League? Or, you talk about the players that have come through the academy, but as they've come through the academy, they can hold their own. And Masonda, we all wanted it to work for Masonda. We all did. But it just didn't work out for him, injuries or for whatever reason. Went out on loan numerous times, went to Real Betis at one point. But A great message from Charlie Masonda. Let's read some more of this. Blues said, "Are we likely to build? We are likely to build, but a lot of players need time to gel, so we should expect to be right up there with the bin dippers in City." Alonso, players leaving: Rudiger, Christensen, Alonso, and Aspi. Tom, how you doing, mate? How you doing? It was a last-minute decision, to be fair. I'll tell you a bit of a backstory. So we're having a big christening and a birthday party the same day on Saturday for my little boy. My little boy is 1 on Tuesday the 31st of May. He is 1. Cast your minds back, people. All the regulars, you know this already, but everyone are watching, welcome along to the stream. So cast your minds back to a year ago. This time a year ago, 25th of May, we were building up to the Champions League final on Saturday the 29th of May, where, written off by everybody, Rio Ferdinand was virtually creaming himself when he saw the Man City team and how they'd be popping the ball about and playing football, and everyone wrote Chelsea off. And I kept saying that week, if you look back on my channel and look for all my videos, I kept saying that week, let them do it. Let them talk about Man City, blah, blah, blah. Said, we're better off being underdogs because we can turn up and spoil the party. Saturday the 29th of May last year, Chelsea won the Champions League final. And I went over to my mate's house after I did my stream and stopped crying on YouTube. And I finished the stream, went over to my mate's house at 10:30, said to my wife, who was a week away from giving birth, "Is it all right if I go for a few beers to celebrate? Because I have a few beers here anyway." She was like, "Well, go on then." I said to her, "Don't worry, we're a week away. We've been told by the midwife that he's great. He's got loads of space. There's no sign of anything coming at the moment." She was like, "Go on then." So I went out, had a few beers, into Sunday the 30th of May and got home about 3 o'clock in the morning. 15 hours later, 6 p.m, we're off to the hospital. Wifey went into labour the day after the Champions League final. And my little boy was born 4 a.m, Monday the 31st of May. The best weekend of my life. Outstanding weekend. Best weekend of my life, honestly. So, that was all a blur. I kept thinking, I was like, what day is it? Honestly, but... So, this Saturday, we're having a joint birthday and the christening and that sort of thing. So, I've been really, really busy helping wifey get prepared with little bits and pieces we're doing. We're doing Teddy Bear's picnic theme, that sort of stuff. So, I sort of said, look, I sort of done my bit to help out and said, look, I've got a couple of hours, I'm going to do a live stream. So, Tom, that's why it was late, mate. So, I do apologise for that. I tried to get one going on Sunday, but didn't feel very well. Blues did not name him Kai. I did try and get in there, but no, my little boy's name is Leo. It doesn't mean anything to do with Messi, nothing like that. It's just a name that we both liked. So, well, after 4 were taken already. Let's say about that better. So, talking of players that have released messages to Chelsea fans, Tony Rudiger, there was his message as well to Chelsea fans this week, which was nice, good to see. He gave his side of the story. I'm not buying it. He talks about the fact that it's nothing to do with money. If it's nothing to do with money, he would have stayed at Chelsea. Simple as that for me. I know that he wanted a lot of money. I know he's on crap wages anyway, but the law of Real Madrid, the sign-on fee, because there's no transfer fee involved, they can get a massive sign-on fee, plus big wages because it covers off the transfer fee and all that sort of stuff. So I just don't see. I don't buy it. I think it's money driven. Anyway, I said it before on my videos about Rudiger. He's been outstanding under Thomas Tuchel as the part of the back three. He's been outstanding. We can't deny that. He's been brilliant. He's been brilliant. But I have to say, at times, he just wants to get in fights all the time, doesn't he? When there's a ruck on the pitch, he'll run halfway across the pitch to get involved. He does that diving in, tackling thing where he sticks his legs out and just dives in. It's like, what are you doing? And he gets himself... I mean, the Everton game, he goes and gets himself booked on the sideline where the basic rule you're told, the basic rule that you're told at school when you're learning football, when the ball's right out on the wing and you're up against an attacker, is stand up, don't dive in, make them play the ball around you. And what does he go and do? Dives in, gets himself booked first half, He's under pressure. It's just, what are you doing? So at the end of the day, we just want players that want to be here. So cut ties. Thanks very much for your contribution. You were outstanding. Not going to deny that. You're brilliant in the Champions League run last season. Played a massive part. Great challenge on Phil Foden in that game, second half, which we're not going to forget. But Rudiger has been outstanding. He has been outstanding, but he has his moments, is what I'm saying. But his move's all about money. Don't disbelieve that. It's about money. Tom, don't envy your lack of sleep and hangover last year. Sounds painful. Ice Cold, happy first birthday to Leo Daft. 20,000 subs now. Thanks very much, Ice Cold. Thank you. And to everyone that has subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I work full time. I've got a full-time job. I try to fit this in around working, around looking after my little boy every night, while my wife works a bit later. And it's just trying to get the videos done when I can. So I appreciate every single one of you sticking with me. As he gets older, I can do a lot more videos, that sort of thing. So I really appreciate it. Clinton, you won't be watching the bin dippers. I will be watching it, and I hope Real Madrid win. I really, really hope Madrid win. I can't stand it. The thing is, I like Jurgen Klopp. I have to be honest. I like Jurgen Klopp as a manager. The way he speaks, the way he looks after his players, the way he sets his teams up. I like the way he plays his football. Can't stand the team he's working for, but I like Jurgen Klopp. I tried getting Gianfranco for my son, but my missus wouldn't have it. Could just call him Franco. Blues, Mbappe's not about money either. Thank you, Blues, about that. Alonso, I get the impression that only players we're sure of are Mendy, Silva, James, Chilwell, Chalobah, Kovacic, Kante, Mount, Cho, Gallagher, Broha, everyone else, there's a question mark. Have I missed anybody, honestly? Havertz. You missed Kai Havertz. Rudiger crapped Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah, it wasn't intentional. No, it wasn't. Of course it was. Of course it was. Terry, big time. Hold on. Don't forget the bar's open, people. Chels Daft Pub's open. Nice little American-style IPA. Let's get amongst it, as we are down the pub. So how have you all been? How's the wife? That's what you normally say, isn't it? I don't know if you guys, obviously in the UK, there's a comedian that's called, oh God, what's he called now? Mickey Flanagan, that was it. And he talks about the fact that when a bloke goes to the pub and his wife always says, I'll make sure you ask him how he is and how his wife is and all that sort of thing. And then when they go home from the pub the day after, did you ask him about his wife? And he's like, did I ask him about his wife? And even ask how he is down the pub. Oh dear, always makes me laugh. Oh yeah, Woodshedder. Are you still working at the minute, Woodshedder, or are you finished? Mendy, by the way, penalties. What is he doing? He's on the floor before they kick the ball. If Kai's the only one I've missed, there's a ton of work to do, says Alonso. Hence Thomas Tuchel not going on holiday. Yeah. Oh, dearie me. I mean, I can't show the Chelsea website. I'm not allowed to. Long story. Let's move on. Chelsea star Mason Mount will more than double his $80,000 a week wages at Chelsea once Todd Boehly's takeover is complete, as a reward for fine form, with Thomas Tuchel keen to build his team around the midfield star. 23-year-old Mason Mount, Chelsea's Player of the Year for 2 seasons. Top scorer with 11 goals this season and 10 assists in the Premier League. Outstanding. Now, a lot of people... Hold on a minute. I got to do that again. I didn't show you this, did I? I'm reading it out. You lot are sitting looking at me going, what he's doing. Here we go. Mason Mount will more than double his $80,000 a week wages at Chelsea once Todd Boehly's takeover is complete, as a reward for his fine form, with Thomas Tuchel keen to build his team around the England midfield star. Blues top scorer, 11 goals and assister, 10 in the Premier League this year. 23-year-old has been Chelsea's Player of the Year for 2 seasons in a row. Does it sound like there's an echo in here? I'll just repeat myself. It's because of my high-tech streaming capabilities. But Mason Mount. The only thing I'll say, a lot of people still doubt Mason Mount. A lot of people still saying, "Oh, teacher's pet with Frank Lampard and all that, and all this nonsense." A Chelsea football team, and the only compliment, or the main compliment I can give Mason Mount here is a Chelsea team with Mason Mount in it is much better than a Chelsea team without him in it. Simple as that. And that's because of the way he leads the press, his energy, his hunger, his determination, his quality on the ball, assists, goals. Simple. What do you guys think? Mason Mount, new contract. Smash the like button for me, people. Up to 82. If I can get to 100, that'll be outstanding. That'll be unbelievable. Really, really appreciate it. I'm trying to get some music going. Softly, but I'm not sure I'll be able to do it. I had it working with my wavelink, but it's all gone funny. It's all gone a bit Pete Tong. So I've got to try and sort that out. But it's echoing a lot. Anthony says Liverpool final. Ice Cold says prioritise extending Mount and Reece James. Exactly. 100%. 100%. Yeah, Mount and James top talent. The fans should lay off Mason Mount. They should. I don't get why they still do it, to be fair. Why do they still give him a hard time? I don't know. But I have to say this. I don't do a lot on Twitter. I share these. I've seen the. Like I share the videos. I do that sort of stuff. But when it comes to games, when the game finishes, if it's a bad result, I just stay away from it. It's toxic. It's toxic. The keyboard warriors come out, don't they? Anyway, Tom Daft, got a tiny scoop for you. There was a woman next to Boehly the other week, Janet Marie Smith, seen it on her credentials, architect and stadium renovator. They're already getting the ball rolling. Woodshedder. If you put on music, can you put on some jazz fusion? I ain't got a clue what that is. Jazz fusion. Is that what what's his name put on Anchorman? That was jazz, wasn't it? Jazz flute. So we're going to expect this to go mad next couple of days, next couple of weeks. We're going to go absolutely mad. It'll be very, very interesting to see who's Chelsea's first signing is. And a lot of people think it's going to be like a marquee signing because, you know, you got the new manager, the new owner coming in, the new consortium coming in, and they're going to sit there and they'll probably want to make a statement, won't they? A statement signing. Who will that statement signing be? Now, there's a rumour that it could be Declan Rice. There's a report that Chelsea are willing to offer 80 million for Declan Rice and throw in Armando Broja as part of the deal. Because West Ham have got no money and West Ham want Broja, believe it or not. Oh, yeah, John Cena was there, wasn't he? At Stamford Bridge the other day, watching the game. Put some funky soul on. No, it's not requests, by the way. This is a stream about Chelsea, talking Chelsea live. It's not bleeding request hour. What's going on? Alonso, it's always Chelsea FC that even though we lost 2 finals, we won 2 trophies, we do it every time. It loves Chelsea CFC. Exactly. It's just, yeah. So who would marquee signing be? I'm on 89 likes. Thank you, people. If you haven't done so, smash it for me. Jules Koundé. Would you say he's marquee, though? Is he like the big name that everyone's... You know, if he signs, people go, ooh, Jules Koundé, oh, yeah, go out and rush and get Koundé on your shirt. That's what I'm talking about. Marquee. Marquee would be Neymar, we don't want him. I wonder. I wonder who it'll be. But, yeah, he's already in the oven. Lewandowski. Marina. She's still going to stay, isn't she? Marina going to have Sky up. Bring Rice back home. Declan Rice. Now, I rate Declan Rice. I've got to say that. I watch him. I watch him play. I watch him playing, and he's intelligent the way that he sort of watches the game being played out, and he sort of, if you think about the way N'Golo Kante is, when he's sort of running back to tackle somebody, and he watches the ball, and he waits for the right moment to put his foot in and nick the ball away. Declan Rice does the same sort of thing. He's not the same level as Kante, obviously, but in Conte's prime. But Declan Rice is the same. And I think it'd be a great signing for us. How many marquee signings is it going to be? No, I know exactly. I think there's one, and that was bloody Erling Haaland over at Man City. I saw a report today talking about Luis Diaz at Liverpool. Now, do you not remember last season, Chelsea playing Porto in the quarterfinals, was it? The quarters? Yeah, quarterfinals. Porto, home and away, even though it was away in that stadium. Do you remember Luis Diaz for Porto putting up any trees against us in those two games? I honestly don't. But he's turned up at Liverpool, and it's like he's just another level, isn't he? And they're talking about the fact that they think the Rafinha at Leeds could be the next one. Rafinha could be the Luis Diaz for Chelsea. I'm not so sure. Not so sure. But I think Dembele's another one. Yeah, Dembele. There's a report that he might stay now, though, isn't it, Dembele? So I wonder if he will stay at Barca. Yeah, player of the year next season. Zaniolo, all right. He got the winning goal, didn't he, tonight for Roma in the final. So Mourinho wins another European final. Jose Mourinho becomes the first manager to win four European trophies with different clubs. Yes, it might be the Europa, UEFA conference, you know, shed under the stairs trophy, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's the data. It's the data, says Woodshedder. Liverpool scouted the data and they got a player who thrives with them. Yeah. That's the thing. See, I guess... Okay, then here's a question for every single one of you that are watching this stream. Let's put it out there. Like we do in a pub. We're in a pub environment now. Cheers, everybody. Hopefully you're all good. If you can have a drink, have one. If you can't, no problem. But here's a question for you then. In the Abramovich era, the signings that he made, think of all the players we've signed, right? Think of the ones that we signed that have not been successful and the ones that have, obviously. I'm talking about all of them, obviously. I'm talking about all the players. But how many of those players were club signings and not managerial signings? Now, we all know at Chelsea that a manager would give a recommendation. He'll give a list of players that he wants to the board, and they'll go away and try and do the business, and then come back and go, well, there you go, we've got him, and him. So people are talking about the fact that buying players in the chat here, which is great that you guys are giving your opinions. Keep giving it for me. Keep putting your comments in the chat. Welcome along, everyone, if you're watching. But a lot of people are talking about players that fit the formation and fit the way, the playing style that we've got, the way we want to play. But surely, majority of those players that were signed were club signings. You know, think Andrei Shevchenko wasn't a managerial signing. That was a Abramovich signing because he's always wanted him in his football team. Look at Frank Lampard's summer. When he after that first season, the fantastic season from Frank Lampard with the academy players. Chelsea perspective, good to see you, mate. How you doing? Frank Lampard's end of his first season, that summer, there is a report, and it's not confirmed, it was a rumour, that out of all the players that we signed that summer, the one that he actually went to the board and wanted was Ben Chilwell. So you look at all the others that signed, Ziyech, you know, Kai Havertz signed, you know, Thiago Silva. There was 6. You had Mendy and the other one, I can't think of the other one off the top of my head. But I'll get there. So you're talking about the fact that we're talking about, players fitting a formation, players fitting a certain playing style. But if the manager has not got a final say in transfers, you're always going to have that problem. Always going to have the problem. And I guess the problem is the expectation levels on the managers. It's the money in the game of football now, the riches for finishing top 4, Champions League, the wealth in the game, and the pressure to be in the Champions League. Look at Arsenal, for example. Oh, Thatch roof for haircut Arteta is crying still. People are too scared to give the manager the whole say in transfers, because if it goes wrong, the club's left with players that that were managerial signings, not players that would necessarily suit the next manager coming in. But in saying that, club signings are the same. They're signing for the football club. So, I'm just talking about, how many of these players over time, or how many of the Chelsea squad then currently have actually been managerial signings? When the manager said, yeah, I want them, and I want them. Lukaku for me was a club signing, because I think the club looked at the fact we couldn't hit a cow's arse with a banjo last year and score goals. And they looked like, who's scoring goals in Europe? Lukaku's doing it for Inter Milan. Let's go and bring him back. Let's pay 100 million. So, Lukaku, yeah, exactly. Who's the guy over at Napoli? He used to play for Lille and he scored against us a few times. Victor Osimhen, is that his name? I'm sure that's him. He's been decent. He's a good shout, try and bring in. But again, I would sit there and I would go, if it was me, I'd give Broha a go next season. You got to. Southampton love him. They think he's an outstanding player. They want to keep him. Give him a go. Conor Gallagher's going to come into the Chelsea fold next season and he'll replace Jorginho. So, Jorginho, let's get on to Jorginho. My personal opinion, it's up to you guys, but think of if we stick to this formation next season with Thomas Tuchel, the three centre backs, 2 wing backs, and your 2 number you got your 2 men midfield, and you got your 2 number 10s and your striker. Then that holding, or the 2 central midfielders, the 2 deeper line midfielder role, it's just completely evolved over this season for me. We all know Mateo Kovacic is an outstanding player, box to box, everywhere. We also know that N'Golo Kante is the same, absolutely outstanding everywhere. Jorginho's stuck in a bit of a rut because he's not that type of a player. He's someone that comes short and tries to link the play up, and what he does with the ball at his feet is outstanding, but the roles become much more progressive and much more dynamic. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek has grabbed his chance this season in that deeper line role and been amazing, outstanding. And that's why I think they'll look at Jorginho now and say, right, you can't play that role. And he'll go. And Conor Gallagher will come in and play the same. And play that expressive, dynamic role in midfield. That's what I think they'll do. Whether or not he'll switch to Mason Mount and go number 10 and Mason Mount plays a bit deeper, where he can influence the game from a deeper line position, not so sure. But I think Jorginho's gone. And that's the reason why, because he can no longer suit the dynamic role of that midfield position in the Premier League. La Liga and Serie A is very different, that role. Premier League, it isn't. Tom, you too, mate. Dano, hey Chels, just catching up. Good to see you, mate. 4-3's answer, which is catch on. Different CFC players and their specific styles. Players more alive 4-3-3. Chelsea perspective, agree and bring up Broha. Ice Cold says, like son Cucurella. Cucurella's on go Man City, which is a blow, to replace Mendy, who's obviously been banged up. 102 likes. Thank you, people. Really appreciate it. Terry, Jorginho, too quick to pass sideways or backwards. I did sort of say that anyway recently, though, Terry. At times when the way we've been playing and defenders playing Lukaku in front of them, to see Lukaku stand there in front of them, they squeeze the play through midfield, and when we pick up the ball, we've got no option. You can only go backwards or sideways. So you can't sort of... I know people say about Jorginho over time, but I think of late, can't really blame him. Tune, Boehly being discussion on transfers, in my opinion, would really ask a question about our scoring and what players we can buy, who really puts a shot on target with velocity. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, let's bring him back. Yeah, Tom, have a go on, mate. Trade Lukaku for Kane. Kante loves Lukaku. Do it, Chelsea. Problem is, I think Kante now loves Harry Kane as well. I would take Harry Kane in a heartbeat. I think he's the most complete all-round centre-forward there is in Premier League at the moment, maybe in Europe, all-round. I think he's just outstanding, Harry Kane. But I think because of his affiliation, what the word's that? Affiliation with Tottenham, coming through their youth ranks and all that sort of stuff, I think that if he's given the opportunity, I think he'll turn it down because of the Tottenham-Chelsea thing. I think if Antonio Conte was offered Lukaku, he'll take him. Alonso says, CD, would you take Benzema? I would, but he wouldn't leave Real Madrid. Got it too easy there. Benzema's outstanding, Lee. Absolutely outstanding. Hopefully he scores the winner in the Champions League final and beats the bin dippers. That's what we're hoping. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, Benzema's been outstanding this season. Absolutely outstanding. So, I mean, for me, players that are going obviously will be Rudiger, Christensen. I think Alonso's going to go. I think Jorginho will go. And as per that report we just showed a minute ago, I think you were looking at Hakim Ziyech going and all, which we don't want to see. But he could potentially be going. So, hopefully it's not going to be the case. So, guys, smash the like button if you haven't done so already. Welcome along to the live stream. It's a impromptu live stream. For those of you people that are joining late, if you've missed it, let's go back over what we've been talking about. Just got to sort out my really impressive streaming quality here. So, Chelsea take over given government approval with Thomas Tuchel to receive £200 million transfer back in, with reports that whatever he sells, that money will also go into that kitty. So you could have about another, you could end up with 250, 300 million this summer for money. So the takeover has been given approval. Todd Boehly will be the new Chelsea owner. We're just waiting for confirmation it's been done and the official statement on the club website coming out. Expected tomorrow. If not tomorrow, it'll be Friday. As a result, Jules Koundé and Josko Garvidal are on an 8-player shortlist to solve Chelsea's defender crisis, with Rudiger and Christensen leaving. It states here, as per Queta's future is uncertain, but he's going to stay. So those two defenders with some others are being linked, such as Pau Torres and Jose Jimenez at Atletico Madrid. Been talking about this. Chelsea are now open to sell Hakim Ziyech in case they receive an important proposal, and Marcos Alonso will leave with Barcelona still leading the race. Talks soon with N'Golo Kante, discuss his contract, and Jorginho's waiting on Chelsea as well. We spoke with Charlie Musonda, who's going to depart Chelsea after 10 years, with his emotional message to the club and the fans. And we've been talking about Mason Mount doubling his wages reportedly as the Chelsea Player of the Year for the last 2 seasons running. Chelsea's top scorer in the Premier League with 10 goals, 11 assists. Or the other way around, 11 goals and 10 assists. And his new contract. So hopefully you guys are all up to speed. And so we're back here. CD, name us your preferred player you'd like to see signed. The marquee signing. Oof. See, I can't help but think Lukaku's going to stay. Chelsea's invested a lot of money in Lukaku. Let's face it, Inter Milan won't pay 100 million to take him back. So I think Lukaku, if he stays fit and starts most of the games, he'll start scoring. He's naturally gifted. He's going to score goals. Just got to get the best out of him. I think for me, it's got to be in the middle of midfield. I think it's got to be middle of midfield. It has to be middle of midfield. And I think it's going to be Declan Rice. I think if Chelsea can get hold of Declan Rice, Tuchem's already gone, or Tuchemeni, going around Madrid by the looks of it. I think if we get Declan Rice, then that gives our midfield a different dynamic. With Jorginho going, I think he'll go then. because Declan Rice is someone that will sit there quite happily, sit in that position, and that will open up the 4-3-3 for us, I think. And that will give the licence to two box-to-box midfielders playing alongside in that balanced 4-3-3 formation. Even if it's going to be the same formation next season, him playing next to Kovacic, him playing next to Kante, him playing next to Loftus-Cheek will be great. Declan Rice, he's got something to prove at Chelsea. The only stumbling block will be the fact that the board could potentially look at it and go, well, bear in mind, I said it earlier on, there's a report that Chelsea are willing to offer 80 million for Declan Rice, plus offer Broha as part of that deal to West Ham, because they want to sign Broha from Chelsea after his performances for Southampton this season in the Premier League, but they haven't got any money, West Ham. So I think that West Ham will probably particularly take that, and I think Declan Rice would come to Chelsea over City or Man United because he wants to stay in London. So for me, I think not necessarily marquee, but I think a signing that is probably imperative for me, because that midfield has been a problem. Really has been a problem. Just trying to find the right balance. And I think Declan Rice would solve that issue. I didn't know I could get a broken leg first game. That'd be it. Anyway, so let's have a look here. EGB Shorts, how are you? I'm afraid if we let go Pulisic, it will turn out to be another Mo Salah or KD Breeze. Good shout. Sean, favourite songs with K by my side. Giving TT the chance to build his team and we'll be fine. Great channel. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Alonso, Silly, how do you feel about getting academy players? We've let go of much quality in the past. Would you think it would work? The only way you're going to know is by playing them. Simple as that. So, got to give them a chance. But the problem you've got, again, is the expectation to be Champions League. And if you fall too far behind, Alonso, think of Carlo Ancelotti's end of the first season, he won a double at Chelsea. That summer, players that left that Chelsea squad that summer, we lost Carvalho, from what I can remember. We lost Deco. We lost a couple of others. And they were replaced by the likes of Jeffrey Brumer coming into the squad. A couple of other youngsters come in. I can't think off the top of my head. And by January, Chelsea was struggling for results. Sunderland beat us 3-0 at home, which was just... Urkel scored. What's his face? Welbeck. Just Google image him. That's what I'm saying. Chelsea decided that was it. Went out and signed Fernando Torres for 50 million. David Luiz. So the problem is, it's all well and good bringing the academy players in. I mean, look at Chelsea. Chelsea, under Frank Lampard, when he first come in, had no choice because of the transfer ban. Played the academy players. Threw them in and did great. Did outstanding. Would we be that lucky again by doing the same sort of thing in this particular environment with no ban, and Man City going by Haaland with their great squad, and Liverpool going to invest again in their squad, and the likes of Tottenham under Conte investing in their squad? If we bring academy players in for defensively, for example, we don't sign Conde, Garvidal, we don't look at him, we don't look at Pau Torres, we'll just, for the academy, is that going to be enough for Chelsea to maintain the challenge for the Premier League next season? Or will it get to a point where we're so far behind again in January, they're going to spend money anyway? So that's the problem. The problem in the game is the money in football. It's the riches that are offered to finish inside the top four. It's the money from the Champions League. And it's the pressure and the level of expectation on managers to get inside that top four. And that's the driving factor in whether clubs go, let's bring this player through and play them. Put them in the first team, play them season in, week out, for the most part. They can't afford to do it because they're worried about missing out on top four. Look at the situation with Arsenal. They're going to try and reinvest again this summer to try and break back into the top four. Look at the situation with Man United and what they're going to do with Ten Hag now going in there. They're going to throw money at their problems and try and hope they can get back in the top four. That's the problem. So ideally, you want to see academy players, 1 or 2, come through every single summer and get involved in our first team. and play, first season, play a few games, then build up and build up. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to see. A first team squad full of academy players. We do have that at the moment. Yes, we've let a lot of people go. I mean, a lot of people are looking at the situation now going, well, look at the situation with Chelsea defence and money grabbing Rudiger going, money grabbing Christensen going, and possibly Alonso going. But then they turn around going, well, you've let Tomori go, you've let Gurhi go. Your answers were there. So have we got the quality of the Gurhi and the Tomori to come straight into the first team from the academy? I'm not so sure. There's one, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, which I'm awful for, but anyway. Hopefully you get what I'm trying to say. I'm making sense. I'm not just waffling about a load of old nonsense. Terry, Pulisic loves the clubs, but he won't stay to play. The system doesn't fit. I think Ziyech will request a transfer as well. Exactly, that's what I keep saying. Chelsea go 4-3-3 for me, and it suits the players. Play Ziyech on the right, Pulisic on the left, Lukaku for the middle. Play three-man midfield, Kante holding or Kovacic, or start off Kante holding with Kovacic and Mount box to box, and your four-man defence. And I think that gives us a much better balance. I think defensively it'd be much better as well. And we'll see how we go. Chilwell, Reece James, Thiago Silva, and one other in the middle of the back of the defensive line. And we shall see. Hopefully we'll be better, but we shall see. And then people are going to say, what about Kai Havertz? Where's he fit in? Understandably. So, Swampy, how are you, mate? He says, I know we've practically signed Kunde for the right side centre-back, but I think it'd be smart to direct swap Lukaku back to Inter for Skriniar. What are you going to do? Isn't Skriniar a defender? What are you going to do about... He is. He plays similarly to Rudiger, very aggressive and reliable. What do you do about striker then? Play Broha in there, bring him back from Southampton, to replace Lukaku. EGB Short says, please note, our signings will determine whether we will be competing with Tottenham and the Arsenal or Liverpool and Man City next season. Exactly. Ivan, how are you? Chelsea's experience, Koulibaly, Kunde, Gaspo, Ampadu, Xavier are good. Some of the academy graduates should go out and learn from more experience. But you can only send a certain number of them now, though. Ivan says, I feel sad for missing out on Orlin, though. Okay. And direct swap, as in no fee, says Swampy. Welcome along, everybody. Thank you for being here. It's the Chels Daft Pub. It's the live stream, Talking Chelsea Live. Do this on my channel now and again. I'm keen to hear from every single one of you. As we say, the Chels Daft Pub, so it could be anything, about anything to do with Chelsea. Situation it is this summer, next season, back in the day, favourite games, players, whatever you want to do. Things that you normally would do when you're waffling on with your mates in the pub after you've just watched a game at Stamford Bridge, or watch it on the telly, or watch it with your mates, wherever you're watching it. Go back and have a pint, talk about the game, and you start talking about old times and stuff like that. Hey, Soliman, how are you? Good evening. CD, will I keep Thomas Tuchel next season if we didn't win anything? Ooh. I would and give him one more season, but I think the ownership wouldn't keep him. We shall see. They're saying that Kunde's coming. They might announce it soon. Ivan, you look really tired, man. Get some serious rest sooner. Thanks very much, mate. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I've been up since 5 this morning. But most importantly of all, I want to be on the stream to talk to you people. My little boy was up at 5. So never mind. It's all good. I can try and sort it out for you. Get myself the eyes packed, or what they're called. Face pack. That's it. Get one of them. Do any of you guys rate Connor Cody? Terry, I think my personal opinion of Connor Cody, I think is a good defender. I think the formation they play at Wolves brings out the best in him. I think he still plays the back three, don't they, Wolves? I think if you played in the 2, he might struggle. A bit like Rudiger. There's talks that Tuchel deal isn't done yet. PSG have entered the mix. We might have time to enter. Not so sure. Not so sure, mate. Ice cold. Thoughts on Sterling at Chelsea? Yeah, Raheem Sterling's got 1 year left in his contract, and there's a report that he's not going to sign an extension, and Man City could let him go. I'd take him. I'd take Raheem Sterling if I could. I think that he'll score goals. He's busy. He's a pain in the bum. He's quick. And I think if you play him, I mean, would he fit in the way you want to play? Probably not, actually, when I was sort of saying that. I don't think he would, based on the formation we're playing now. But 4-3-3, he might. Interesting. Yeah, Raheem Sterling. Phil says, been following Chelsea since the 70s, many highs and lows. Exactly. I've been since 1980, Phil. I know what you mean. Okay, is Emerson coming back to replace Alonso? He's there for 2 years, I think, at Lyon. Going to get a new left back as backup to Chilwell. I think we will. Not sure who it'll be, but I think Alonso's gone. EGB Shorts, I feel Jorginho was never as good as Gilmore. I'm in Africa and I hope you'll be able to drive Jorgen to the airport if he says he's leaving. What has you been in Africa got to do with it? Never mind. But thank you for watching over in Africa. I appreciate it. Chef, we should get a proper DM so we can play 4-3-3. Exactly. I'm talking Declan Rice. That's what I've been saying. What do you think? Yeah, Sterling's good and give us 15 goals a season. Alonso, Roman is gone. So now Todd will give TT time after giving 200 million. Yeah, I think he'll give him time. I think he'll give him to the end of the season and see how he gets on. But again, it's the pressure, Alonso, isn't it? It's not just Chelsea that are looking for to invest money in their squad to try and close the gap on Man City and Liverpool. Think of Man United and Arsenal. They want to get back in the top four. Tottenham, they got back in, they want to try and maintain their position. You know, there's us. We want to improve, want to get better, want to close the gap to Man City and Liverpool. Liverpool want to get the title back for Man City. Man City want to keep the title. Those 6 teams, the top 6, as they all say, will be throwing money at the situation this summer. And Chelsea need to make sure they invest money, but also there will be a level of expectation for this season, or this coming season, next season as it is. So Swampy says his optimal lineup for a back four will be Chilwell, Pau Torres, Kunde and James. Midfield 3 is Rice, Kovacic, Gallagher. Front 3, Mount, Havertz and Lukaku. Fair play. A. Solomon says he doesn't think Thiago Silva would strive in a back 4. Okay. Is that because he's got the other 2 around him in the back 3 where he can sweep and let them do the dirty work, as it were? But Thiago Silva, world class. Absolutely amazing player. But it's not just his ability, it's the way that he reads the game and he sees it playing out and he steps in and makes tackles in front of attackers. He nicks the ball off them. His positional play is excellent. I don't think it matters if he's in the back 4 as he was in PSG or back 3. I think Thiago Silva is world class. Simple as that. I think he's an outstanding player. Absolutely outstanding. But yeah, Pau Torres for me, I'll go out and get him if it was me. I think the guy's an outstanding player. But yeah, so Ben Chilwell will be back, which is a great bonus for us, and Reece James. To have those 2 either side balances, give us a great balance wide, getting forward, getting balls inside the box, scoring goals in those positions as well. That's something that we've missed from Chilwell big time. Yes, Alonso steps up and Alonso scores his goals, but defensively he's still suspect. We have to admit that and be honest. Jules Koundé, I've not seen too much of him to know, but ice cold. Oh, hold on a minute. Ivan, who are we going to get at the striker's position? Lewandowski and Lukaku are good with Brighton Kai. Not so sure. Really, really not so sure. Have to wait and see. I'll take Braha back, big time. Ice Cold says Silva was your player of the year. Mount was a little bit inconsistent in your opinion, which is fair play. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Colin, how are you? Why the heavy reliance on Chilwell and James might bite again next season with injuries? Do we get backups or do we already have them? Alonso's probably leaving. Yeah, I think Alonso's going. On the right-hand side, you've got Aspi for another season as a backup. And I think that's the way it'll be. And hopefully Reece James will stay fit. That's what we hope. But we have to wait and see. See what happens. But I think we definitely need another left back. Somebody mentioned Cucurella in the chat earlier. Cucurella's been linked with Man City. You know, we're going to go to Chelsea or the league champions. Guardiola. That's the problem that you got, you see. And I think that Cucurella will go there. But what other left backs are there? Alonso, do we have too many players with question marks on their backs, not including all the players that are leaving? We look very thin in many areas, even the bench. Are we in trouble this summer? I don't think we're in trouble at all. I think Chelsea will be very astute. I think they've already got their targets set already. They won't leave themselves exposed in a position where they are weak or they look very thin in certain areas. I don't think they'll do that. They'll protect themselves. You know, somebody like, let's say Jorginho. Let's say we don't get Declan Rice and we don't replace the midfield position. So Jorginho wants to go back to Italy. Chelsea won't let it go because under contract, won't let him go. They'll say, look, you know, until we bring somebody else in, you can't go. So they'll protect themselves. They won't leave themselves in areas where they're short. They won't do that. So I don't think we're in trouble at all. Bring Lamptey back. Yeah. I wonder if there's a buyback clause in his contract. Solomon, we love Dembele on a free, world class when he isn't injured. Exactly. Ice cold. City had Haaland, Alvarez, and now Cucurella isn't great news for rivals. We've got work to do this off-season. We have. Exactly. Josh, how are you, mate? Hope we don't sign Neymar over the hill. I think we should get Victor Osimhen. I said that. Pace, power, and physical in the mould of Drogba. See, I said that earlier, Josh. Good shout, mate. Good shout. Smash the like button for me, people. If you haven't done so already, cheers. Chels Daft Pub is in session. So don't fall asleep, according to Ivan. Was it Ivan who said I look tired? Do I look tired? I've been up since 5. Anyway. As you said, pub's in session. Woodshedder. Every transfer will be a disappointment to the fans who think we're winning everything next season. This will be a work in progress. That's a good shout. That is a good shout. And that leads me to the question then. I guess Alonso asked it as well. If we're going to spend a lot of money this summer, what's acceptable next season? To you, as the Chelsea fan, but what do you think will be acceptable for the new ownership next season? Ivan, honestly, I look like I could sleep for 3 days. I've got a 1-year-old baby. I've not slept for a year. Thanks, though, mate. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you putting that on a stream. So, A. Solomon, top 4 and a domestic cup. Who's that for? You, or is that for the ownership? Because that's where you need to understand it. What do you think their level of expectation is going to be compared to us as fans who, you know, let's face it, Todd Boehly and his consortium probably turned up and took an interest 6 months ago, maybe, or a few months back when they first got wind that Chelsea were up for sale. Did they follow Chelsea religiously over time? Do they feel the same way about Chelsea as we do? Do they understand as we do? Of course they don't. So, will the level of expectation be sort of tampered down a little bit, bearing in mind the amount of change in the playing squad this season, this summer? Or will they say, look, there's money, go and get what you need to get and go and challenge. If you don't, there's a problem. So, Woodshedder, 200 million is actually not a big transfer budget to rebuild a squad. It isn't. It will be multiple windows. Let them get the data first. Exactly. All Chelsea fans, management and the owners. A. Solomon, the new ownership cares a lot about TV rights, so need us to be in Champions League for their plans, most probably. Alonso, would you take Ronaldo over Neymar? Yes, I would. I'll take Ronaldo up front. It sounds ridiculous, but I'll take him up front for Chelsea next season, and he'll score you 20, 30 goals, 100%. The guy's movement is outstanding. The guy is so fit physically. He'll still be playing in 4 or 5 seasons. There's a rumour he's going to go back to Real Madrid. But if Chelsea offered Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, would you take him over Lukaku? Yes, in a heartbeat. Because Lukaku can't play the way we want to play. And it sounds ridiculous for me to say this, but if you've got Cristiano Ronaldo saying, play this way for me and I'll score the goals for you, or Lukaku says it, you're going to listen to Ronaldo, aren't you? It sounds ridiculous to say it, but I'll take Ronaldo over Lukaku in a heartbeat because he scores goals. And he'll do it for fun in our team. Darwin Núñez, what's up with him and Dembele? I think Dembele's going to stay at Barca. I think he'll stay there, but we'll see. The thing is, there's an argument for Man United that signing Ronaldo unbalanced their team and their formation. The main man was Fernandes. He ran the show. Their 4-2-3-1 formation. And Ronaldo turned up and spoiled it all. It went from suddenly being the main man as the creator and the one they turned to. Yeah, I know they got Pogba there, but and then Ronaldo turned up and it all changed. So would he do that if he come to us? I'm not so sure. Because I think that the team would mull towards him. But I mean, it's a ridiculous thing to talk about. Ronaldo at Chelsea. Can't see it happening. I think it'll be Lukaku next season. I think Lukaku, if we can play a certain formation, 4-3-3, and play to him and his strengths, which is running behind, playing to him deep if he drops off a defender, or playing to him over the top, or in the channels, I think we get the best out of him. We can't play Lukaku the way we've been playing him this season as a centre forward that leads the line, because he can't do it. He can't boss defenders. He doesn't bully defenders. He can't hold the ball up to save his life. So that's not Lukaku's game. But we shall see. So come on, people. Smash the like button for me. In the chat, if there's one person you can sign this summer, realistically, who would it be? Put it in the chat. Let me know. You can only make one signing to try and improve the Chelsea squad. Who would it be? Put it in the chat and let me know. And be realistic. Don't sit and go Mbappe. Don't go bloody Haaland. Realistically. So Declan Rice says Swampy. Lukaku says A. Solomon. Or Lukaku, I should say. Rice says Woodshed up. It's interesting to see what you guys think. Let me know. Keep them coming. Yeah, Declan Rice gets a big shout. Barella. Exotic. How are you? Barella's a good shout. Why Barella? Do you want to elaborate on that? Good shout, though. I have to say, Barella. Come on, people. Post your comments up. I'm doing good. Phil says Declan Rice as well. Dembele says ice cold. EGB says somebody ought to be fired in the Chelsea scouting department for not signing Tuchel and taking Saul instead. There should have been repercussions for such a transgression. Using 120 million for 200 on one player will destroy our defence unless we pay it on instalments. There's a report it should be 80 million. Lukaku and Sterling would add Chelsea's depth in attack, says Hussein. How are you, mate? Welcome along. Good to see you in the chat. Come on, people. One signing you can make. Who would it be? Rafinha, says Stephen. Do you think he'd make a big difference for us? Do you think he's better than Ziyech, for example? Just a question. That was all. Come on, guys. Ladies, gents. Given the chance to sign one. Who'd you sign this summer to make the difference at Chelsea, to make a big difference to Chelsea? One player, realistically, who would it be? Pulisic would be good to replace the Alonso. Would that be that you'll still keep the wing-back formation exotic? Basmati. Alonso, that's a good one. I'll read it out in just a second. It's a good one. Declan Rice as a 6 takes a while, needs to play Thiago Silva as a sweeper every game. Has to add more men in front line and be more offensive. Perisic can defend quite well too. Okay. So Declan Rice, Barella, Lukaku, Rafinha, Dembele, Sterling. Ivan says one player will be Aurelian. Hasn't he already gone, though, to Real Madrid? I think he's gone already. Possibly. So, that's the problem. So, Alonso has said this. CD, me. Here's a good one. In order, who impressed the most? Eden Hazard, Arjen Robben, Mason Mount. In order. Who impressed the most? Dwayne, how are you, mate? Kane for Lukaku, Koulibaly and Kunde. You can only name one, though. Only one. Yeah, so who is impressed the most? Eden Hazard, Arjen Robben, or Mason Mount? See, if you look at that, look at the situation, Alonso, with that question. Great question, by the way. As always. Let's take Arjen Robben, for example. Turned up to Chelsea young, impressionable. Played in that Chelsea Mourinho side, on the left-hand side. And just bossed it, didn't he? With him and Damien Duff. Outstanding, those two. But Robben, and then... So he was pretty much someone that come in from... When we signed him, he was an up-and-coming talent. He was like a high, he was someone that was rated highly, and he come in, and he took him a little while, but then he took the Premier League by storm for a few seasons, and he left. Eden Hazard took time to find his way in at Chelsea, but when he did, outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. And then Mason Mount, different player, different position. So I think for me, the most gifted and talented and impressive player that I've seen out of those three is Eden Hazard. For me, I think it'll be Hazard, Robben, and then Mount. Because of different players. Different players, different times as well. You've got 3 different eras there. You've got the Mourinho era in the beginning when it all started the ball rolling. Arjen Robben, those couple of seasons back to back, Premier League titles. You've then got Eden Hazard who come in and obviously Premier League title winner. Not Champions League, Europa League winner. Couple of times, I should say. And you now got Mason Mount, Premier League winner. Sorry, Champions League winner, I should say. Premier League winner. But a different time, again. Derek, how you doing, mate? If we can get just a spine off the 200 million sterling, a good defender, a good midfielder, and a good attacker, we build. Have we not got that already, though? Like, I'm just asking, any of those players, any players in our current squad, good enough to form that spine, the all-important spine? Let me know what you think. Ice cold, Hazard, Mount, Robin. Fair play. Okay. A. Solomon, would I take Eden Hazard back now? Yes, I would, 100%. 100%. Because look how many injury problems he had at Real Madrid. Did he have that many at Chelsea? You know. But when you get him fit and fine, but when he gets fit, he doesn't play. Ancelotti's not having him, is he? So go and grab him, take him back. I would, 100%. I spoke about it earlier. I said if you're going to go to a 4-3-3 formation and you play natural wide players, the current Chelsea squad, naturally gifted wide players, Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi, Hakim Ziyech. 3. We need 4. Eden Hazard. Bring him back in. If you can, bring him back. I'll bring him back in a heartbeat. What the guy did for us was just unbelievable. EGB Shorts all said the same thing, Hazard as well. So but it costs a lot of money. But again, Real Madrid, I think from what I can understand, Real Madrid are still paying him off. Or a big chunk of it anyway. Cheers, everybody. The Chels Daft Pub is open. We're talking Chelsea. We're talking about a takeover. We've done that already. We're talking about transfers. Mason Mount. Chelsea retro. Chelsea questions. Great question, by the way, Alonso, as always. A. Solomon says, Hazard, Sterling and Dembele. Any of these three can fill the fourth wide spot. Exactly. That's if you go 4-3-3. If we stick with the same formation next season, then you'll count Werner in that, can go wide, but you look at number 10s. So, for me, Havertz and Mount. See, a grumble that I had this season is when we were struggling to get results, stuff like that, then we were playing Kai Havertz up front, and we were playing Mason Mount, we were playing Ziyech or whatever we were playing. I couldn't understand why we didn't go back to Champions League final. Runner up front, Mount and Havertz behind him. The movement between those three was outstanding. Those three were outstanding. And there was a time this season where Tuchel went towards the end of the season, went into that formation or went to those three players. And it began to click again. But it obviously petered out. But yeah, anyway. Definitely has a real amount. Alonso, oh, here we go. We've got another one. Alonso, which goal did you celebrate the most? Ramirez v Barcelona, Wayne Bridge v Arsenal, Lampard penalty v Liverpool in the Champions League. Now, I've got to say this, very, very different situations. And the Lampard penalty v Liverpool in the Champions League, I was in the Matthew Harding upper, when he scored that penalty shortly after his mum passed away. And I was in bits when he scored that. I'm an emotional boy. I'm an emotional man. And I was in absolute bits then. Absolute bits I was. Ramirez goal v Barcelona. I was living in my flat with my wife, now at the time was my girlfriend at the time. And she was in the bedroom and I was watching the game in the front room with a poof in front of me. And when Ramirez scored that goal, I just went mad. It's different. It's very, very different emotions and different reactions. But I get the question. The Wayne Bridge goal against the Arsenal. Now, people forget that as well, by the way. They don't forget the Wayne Bridge goal. But what they forget is that was Arsenal's invincible season in the Premier League. That was their invincible season. And we beat them at Highbury in the Champions League and went through and then just ballsed it up against Monaco. honestly. Phantom, how are you? Good to see you here, mate, and appreciate the super chat. Anyone else wants to give super chats, feel free. But I really appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much. Congrats to Tammy Abraham. You're world-class number 9. He's done well, hasn't he? Done so well. Brilliantly well. A. Solomon, is there a buyback clause for Abraham? Swap him for Lukaku. A. Solomon, Eriksen as a number 10 will transform our attack on his own, I feel. Christian Eriksen. And I have to say, obviously we're all Chelsea fans, as we know, but what a story that is. Christian Eriksen, after all of us watched what happened in the Euros, all of us just dumbstruck, shocked, sitting watching what, that's when stuff like that happens to somebody and you watch it on the pitch and you see what's happening and it puts everything in perspective. But for that person, and you think straight away his family, but for him to recover, go through everything he went through, come out the other side, then sort of get released by Inter, and for Brentford to take him on and for him to go, do you know what? I'm not going to be all sort of, airs and graces about it. I'm not going to sit and go, I'm above Brentford. Actually, to go to Brentford and to go and enjoy his football again and play as he did. I mean, we all know, especially the way he played against us. It's outstanding. Christian Eriksen is different class footballer, and given the opportunity, would you take him at Chelsea? But who do you replace? Because if he plays, somebody misses out. And does he do enough defensively? Anyway. Ivan, which players like to be sold? Marcos Alonso. Rudiger's going, anyway. Christensen's going, but I think it'd be Alonso and Jorginho be sold. Possibly Ziyech. Derek, how are you? I hear, but Tuchel apparently doesn't have his spine. If we consider Klopp and Pep starting like when they took over, and now Tuchel should get his spine. Okay, fair play. I see what you mean. Again, Phantom, thank you very much for the super chat. Much appreciated. Alonso, Mourinho had a comment. My Chelsea recently. Would you take Mourinho back? Maybe he comes with Tammy for a third time. Honestly, it's tough. I mean, it's tough. I mean, my own personal opinion that just pops into my head. So, Serie A. Inter, AC Milan, Juve. There's your 3. And there's one other position you go for. Roma. Are they going to challenge for the title? Possibly. But their challenge will probably be Champions League. Now, Mourinho at Chelsea, it's the 3-season thing with him, isn't it? Chelsea, Spurs, Man United. There's rumours about the man management side of it, falling out with players and calling players out and this sort of thing. So it's not exactly, or it is a coincidence what happened at Man United, up to Chelsea, Tottenham. I love Mourinho for what he did for our football club. I always will. But no, I wouldn't take him back. I think times have changed. I think managing in Italy is much different than it is in the Premier League. And actually, just seeing Ice Cold's comment there, I agree with you 100%. I'd like to see him back as a guest of honour. I know he's managed Spurs. I know he's managed United and there's been some grief. But for what he did for our football club, to take us that step into where we need to be, just amazing. Woodsheddar, that was the first ever European tournament game for Finland. It was devastating us to watch live. Poor Eriksen. Then we won and got stick from it. Yeah, no, I know. Yes, I know what you mean. Mourinho may come back under new owners if the chance rises. Maybe. Kante after Tuchel, not Mourinho. Kante will go to PSG, I think. I think he's lined up for PSG. He's got Champions League. I think because he's got Champions League, there's an opportunity for him to stay another season at Tottenham to see it through. But PSG, would he have more chance of winning the Champions League with the PSG squad than he would the Tottenham squad? Of course he would. Given the opportunity, would he go? Maybe. Derek, fair play. Looking forward to whatever's next. Cheers, mate. Yuli, how are you? No way, Jose doesn't entertain football-wise, exactly. Ivan, Jose's definitely going back at Chelsea in his DNA, but going for the Tottenham job is now in a coffin. Lampard has a second chance, and JT is also getting ready for his chance. JT's back at Chelsea already, isn't he? Whatever happens, it's a massive summer for Chelsea, Arsenal, Man U, Tottenham, Liverpool, Man City, everyone. But for us, in particular, it's a massive, massive summer for Chelsea. We need to make sure we have the right investment in the right players. And I'm hoping, like for the first time in years, that the manager has the final say on transfers, or an influential say on transfers, or much more of an influence on transfers than they've had under the Abramovich regime. Because, I mean, it's not just Roman. You know, I love Roman Abramovich. Of course I do. But there's been too many club signings that the club wanted to make, and then the manager had to deal with them. Here you go, we signed him, you deal with him. That sort of thing. Whereas you want to see a manager turn around and go, look, here's who I want. Go and get him for me. He's going to suit our playing style, suit my team. That's what you want to hear. Go and back the manager. Back the manager. The new ownership. Please back the manager. Example of that, Antonio Conte. Won the title in his first season. Turned it around by switching to a back three. That summer, wanted certain players, didn't get them. The board didn't back him. Wanted Lukaku. They didn't want to deal with his agent. Didn't pay his agent $4 million, so got Morata instead. Didn't work. You know, there was other signings were made that Conte didn't want. He wasn't backed by Chelsea when they should have backed him. Hopefully, this new ownership, the new consortium, Todd Boehly, literally just the first thing that he does when he takes over officially is phone up Thomas Tuchel or goes to meet Thomas Tuchel with some board members and say, look, what do you want this summer? And they sit and write it all down, go for it. Marina, and they go out and get what he wants, because this manager is different class. The way he thinks the game, the way he feels the game is world class. And got to back him. Simple as that. Alonso, do you dislike Liverpool more than Tottenham? Oh, see. History will tell you Tottenham, Leeds and Tottenham, but for me it's always Liverpool. Can't stand them. Cannot stand Liverpool. What do I think of Yuli? What do you think of Theo Hernandez? He's not going to come, is he, from AC Milan? I'm going to keep him. Woodshell, it seems like karma for the board. That card doesn't work for us now, but would have made a difference. Exactly, yeah. He would have done, yeah, big time. Woodshell, he would have done. Exactly. So people, it's midnight in the UK. As Ivan's told me, I look tired. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. My little boy, my 1-year-old boy, got up. I got up as well to make sure he was all right, as you do. So we've been online for 2 hours, and thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate every single one of you joining and smashing the like button and the super chat from Phantom. Appreciate it. I'll be back sometime next week with a stream like this. Maybe Thursday next week. It won't be Monday or Tuesday because we're doing things for my little boy's birthday. Wednesday, I've got a work function in the evening. So it will be probably the Thursday next week. And in the UK, it's a public holiday because of Jubilee. So the Thursday at some point. So thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you for joining in. Hopefully, if this is the first time you're seeing this sort of stream, that you've enjoyed it. So have a good evening, rest of it, or morning, because it is morning now. And have a good couple of days, and I'll see you all soon. So thanks very much for joining. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And smash the like button. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. A call-in show. I'll look at that, Alonso. 100%. Thank you, guys. Take care of yourselves. And new era for Chelsea. It's exciting. See you soon.